Hi there, you are watching a previously recorded video. If you have any questions that are very specific to your brand or require assistance with legally protecting your brand, please feel free to reach out to us at www.jnjlegalservices.com. Schedule a discovery call with us to get you on the right path to success. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. If this is your first time seeing my face, I am Jaleesa, your friendly neighborhood lawyer. And for all my returning subscribers, welcome back my alien allies. It's nice to have you here. Today's episode 6 of our Alien in the Courtroom series. It is a series aimed at helping young entrepreneurs and business professionals at making better legal decisions for their brand. And today's episode is going to be a little bit different from the rest because usually I teach you a topic and then I tell you why that topic matters for your business. Today, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to talk about the common mistakes that I'm seeing young professionals, young entrepreneurs make when it comes to making these legal decisions for their business. How you can avoid making some of these same mistakes that I keep seeing people make. I'm gonna go on a little bit of a rant, okay? A business rant, a legal rant. These mistakes are way too common and enough is enough. I have to put a stop to this. It is time to get real with you guys. Hopefully a little tough love doesn't really offend you or hurt your feelings, but this is what I really think has gone wrong and where we need to redirect our focus so that things can go right, you know? If you want to hear what we're going to rant about today, stay tuned. As always, it is important that I stress the information contained in this video is for educational purposes only. In no way should you consider me to be your personal lawyer. And if you have any further questions, specific questions to your business, you should definitely seek outside counsel. Let's get into the video. There's 3 common mistakes that I want to address in this video, and the first one might be kind of self-explanatory, might be a little bit expected, but it still needs to be stated because a lot of people are not doing it out there. It is important to do your research, do your due diligence. If you have a friend right now who is starting a business, please share this video with that friend, okay? Share my channel with your friend because I'm sure she is bound to get value from the episodes that I've already filmed before, and she's going to get value from this episode right here. Please share this content with your entrepreneur friends. But the problem is that a lot of people aren't doing the research. Not gonna lie, a lot of us get wrapped up into the idea of starting a business and the glamour of it, and they don't necessarily go through the actual underlying research behind it. If you have found this video yourself, I'm applauding you right now. Like, you get applause because obviously you are doing your research, but a lot of people out there aren't. A lot of this information you can find in a Google search, but a lot of people may not necessarily know where to start or maybe how to search. I'm not sure, but if you are running a business and you have never run a business before, you have all the more reason to start doing research now. Even just going on social media and typing in, for example, trademark lawyer or typing in fashion business, you're bound to find businesses like myself or people like myself and businesses like Lanice, who I recently did an Instagram live with, the Black in Fashion podcast, LC Apparel and Consulting. There are people who are out here trying to help you make better decisions. They exist, the resources exist, and you just have to go and search them out. And I'm going to give you a couple tools and resources right now that can help you make a little bit of a better decision. If you are a young fashion designer, is this book here. It is called Fashion Law, a guide for designers, fashion executives, and attorneys. It is by Guillermo Jimenez and Barbara Colson. If you didn't know, Barbara Colson is pretty much the OG in fashion law. Honestly, I brag about her all the time because she's technically my mentor, or was my professor, but she is the OG in fashion law. She was the first lawyer for Kate Spade. She was a lawyer for Seven for All Mankind. She name drops like nothing. She just knows a lot of people within the fashion industry, and she's a big deal for a reason. This book here is great for fashion designers and lawyers, and this is the book that fashion lawyers are reading. Like, this was the only fashion law textbook at the time. It might still be the only fashion law textbook. And what this book does is it gives you a simple, user-friendly information or guide into the mind of a lawyer and into the mind of the industry as well. So it will teach you trademarks, it will teach you copyrights, it will teach you patents and the different types of patents as well. Included are also tables, diagrams, practice tips, and what I recommend is always paying attention to the practice tips, because if you can't afford a lawyer, for example, practice tips will tell you what lawyers are looking at and what they're thinking when clients come into their office with a problem. So practice tips can help you figure out how to solve your own problem as well. This is a great book for fashion designers, very easy to understand. And sometimes it'll mention like some pivotal cases in fashion law. Not too many cases are in this book, but it might tell you a little bit more about the law or the precedent, the case that is behind setting the law. And another question that I get asked pretty frequently deals with trademark law. It's all about building a strong business name. And that makes sense because when you create a business, probably the first thing you think logically to do is to name your business. If you haven't already, please watch episode 2 of this series titled "Don't Name Your Business After Yourself, Building a Strong Business Name." It is what the examiners and the courts look to determine whether your business name is deserving of a trademark. It is a very important episode. Please check it out if you haven't already. After you've picked a business name, the next step logically is to search that business name. And a lot of people are skipping this step. Please search your business name, the name that you would like to trademark, online. Search it through Google, search it on social media, definitely. And you want to search it within the actual trademark database. That is the USPTO's test search. TESS, a test search. You can type that in on Google as well, just test search, and it will show you a couple engines that do it. I think Justicia does it, and there is also one on the USPTO's website as well. And a test search, a trademark electronic search system, allows you to search if a trademark exists in the world, exists in the US, at least, not in the world, in the US. So what you would do is type in your word that you are attempting to trademark into the search, and you want to pay attention to whether the mark or the word is alive or dead. And you want to pay attention to the industry that the word is being used in, because a lot of times people think that once you trademark a word that you own the word all right. No, the way that a trademark works, again, as stated in episode 2, is that a trademark equals a word plus the industry, a word plus the field. So that's why we are allowed to have Dove soap and Dove chocolate with the same name, but in 2 different industries. So again, you want to make sure that you do a test search for the name that you're thinking of, and make sure that you check the industry, because just because it exists in the tech world might not mean it exists in the fashion world. And that way you can still hold on to that name if you would like. The second big mistake that I am seeing a lot of young entrepreneurs make regards business formation. Now, business formation is a little bit out of my field of expertise. I will do a future video talking about business formations, the different types of businesses that you can register. A lot about business formation is about tax law, and I'm not a tax lawyer. So if you have questions, specific questions about that, you should definitely seek out a tax lawyer to tell you about the advantages of the different forms of business. But I will do a video just giving you a little basic introduction to what I at least know. The problem that I am having with young entrepreneurs and forming a business is that young entrepreneurs are looking at an LLC as a form of a social status. They're looking at it as means of saying, oh yeah, I'm an LLC, I'm super official. I don't know what the word is for that. I just say status. They look at it as award and a prize, a diploma, essentially. And technically it is a status. Like, you are defining yourself in the eyes of the law. But a lot of people are going about forming an LLC when they don't necessarily have to at this moment. You've probably heard like a big YouTuber or any big social media presence that you know say that they have registered their business and they are an LLC. And for them, it makes complete sense. You know who they are, millions of people know who they are, and most likely their business needs some business structure from the start, because they're going to be making revenue within a day. And revenue numbers that you probably wouldn't make if you're just regular Joe Schmo living in Brooklyn. You know, like, they're going to make and see numbers that you might not see your very first day, to be realistic. So a lot of you are going about making an LLC just because you've seen a big YouTuber make it, and just because you've heard the term before, because you think that an LLC makes you more official in other people's eyes, in the public's eyes, and you're using that as a status. Like, it's a form of status for you to feel better about yourself and about your business. And technically most small businesses do become an LLC, but a lot of you guys are becoming an LLC when it's not necessary at the moment. It's really not necessary. A lot of us are just seeing a couple dollars, a couple hundreds, maybe every month. And if that's the case, you don't necessarily need to form an LLC right at the moment. You can still take your time to come up with decisions. You can take your time and figure out your business structure, your finances, how everything is running, if you're actually going to continue this business beyond a year. Because as we all know, most businesses fail within the first year. 80 to 90% of businesses fail, and of the 80% that fail, 20% try again. That's the stat. I think that's the stat. So again, you guys are rushing out the gate to get these bells and whistles, to get this legal information, this framework out there. And necessarily, you don't know where you're going to be in a year. You don't know if you want to continue the business in a year. You don't know if you might want to change your name in a year. There's all these different things that you can consider, and you could just take your time and figure that out. You don't need an LLC just to prove yourself to someone. That's the problem. When you're looking for the bells and whistles and you're listening to the words or terms that you hear used in public, and you decide, oh yeah, she has one, so I'm gonna have one too. No, sis, take your time. It's okay. A lot of young fashion designers, a lot of young fashion labels started without worrying about having the legal document attached to it. There is no one determining factor to tell you when it is time to form an LLC. It's different for different people. It's different for different businesses. If your business can create a lot of liability for yourself, like maybe if you're taking on clients and such, maybe then you want to go about forming an LLC to protect your assets from your business assets. Maybe you want to wait until you have reached a threshold of $10,000 in profit. I have seen people wait until that. And your business may benefit from becoming an LLC if you have co-owners or employees. When you first start your business, you are considered a sole proprietor, which means that your business and yourself are attached. Your liability is attached. If your business gets sued, you get sued. The assets are combined, the taxes are combined. They are one and the same. But a lot of single member, one-man businesses do not need to become LLCs right away. Another tidbit that I want to mention about becoming an LLC is that a lot of people LLC a business name that they necessarily can't trademark. It depends on how you want to run your business. Your business name and your trademark do not have to be the same name, but sometimes people want to have the business name and the trademark be the exact same name. So say Alien in the Room, if I wanted to say that is my LLC, Alien in the Room, comma, LLC, and my trademark is also for Alien in the Room. Sometimes people don't do their due diligence and they have an LLC name that now doesn't match their trademark name. The two names do not have to match, but if that was kind of your thought process behind it, you need to check if the name is even available to be trademarked before you go ahead and do an LLC with the name, and now you have an LLC that doesn't match the trademark name. Again, they don't have to match, but sometimes this is a thing that people want. And this last common mistake may ruffle a little bit of feathers. It may get under your skin. Somebody might get offended, but it has to be said. We need to talk about creativity, because using another brand's trade dress, using another brand's name, reputation, it isn't creative. We can all agree on that, right? We can all agree that using another brand's reputation, their name, their trade dress, which is the overall impression of a brand, using another person's brand to form a different business is not creative. Okay? Firstly, brands do not like that, okay? And these brands that you are picking are most likely a big household name brand, and they do not like for you to use their image, their reputation, their whole trade dress, their zhuzh, to form your eyelash company, to form your makeup company. And this one may not necessarily have to do with fashion so much, because it's rare in fashion that you can see a brand take directly from another company that has nothing to do with it. For example, let's take Moschino's collaboration with McDonald's. Obviously, McDonald's has nothing to do with the fashion industry, but Moschino's designs with McDonald's had like the bright M on it. They literally took elements of McDonald's intellectual property and created that into fashion. So that might not be so common within the fashion world, where unrelated companies team up to do something fashion related. But this is particularly important within the makeup world, within makeup cosmetics world. The problem when you use an already established brand like Lifesavers Candy as inspiration for your makeup line is that you've just taken the exact blueprint directly from another company. And who's to stop another girl from doing the same? At the moment, there are 2 makeup girls out there, and I believe there are 2 Black young entrepreneurs who are selling Lifesavers eyeshadows, and one is selling Lifesavers eyelashes. So you see the problem with taking directly from another brand. When you take exactly the blueprint, the zhuzh of another brand and put it onto your own thing, who's to stop another person from having pretty much the same concept as yourself? You haven't created something original for yourself. And so now you're gonna have your Lifesavers eyeshadow palette is going to compete with Lifesavers eyelashes. Why are you creating competition for yourself like that? You don't want competition. Be more creative. Do not take the exact blueprint from something that already exists in the world. You want to operate as your own. You don't want anybody confusing you with another person. And you've probably heard this message before. There's no problem in having multiple people sell AliExpress lashes. There's no problem in having different companies or McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, blah, 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 sell burgers. That's not the problem. The companies, they've done their part to change their marketing, to change their menu, to change their uniforms, to change their look, the logo. They've done their part to create something individual where McDonald's doesn't look like Wendy's. McDonald's doesn't look like Burger King. They've created an image for themselves, and that's what you need to do as well. Stop relying on another brand's name, their reputation, their whole zhuzh to make your now unrelated product. Those 2 girls have taken from, I guess, the food industry and have converted it into makeup. And that's not the way that you want to do that. Let me show you how to actually do that properly. When you're thinking of inspiration and combining 2 different fields that necessarily don't mix, you want to think concepts, not brands. Think concepts. So here's an example of a concept: Beauty Bakery. What Beauty Bakery has done is they are combining the concept of baked goods with makeup. And it doesn't necessarily tie to any brand out there. They're not Sprinkles inspired. They're not Magnolias inspired. They are inspired by baked products in general. It's very general based. It's apple tart, baked powder, pressed powder. I don't even know the names because I don't have any Beauty Bakery, but it's a very cute concept. You're combining a concept with your makeup line. Another example is Super Scent's crayon case. Now, I think I want to do a reaction video about Super Scent versus Crayola. I know it happened a long time ago, but I think I want to go into depth about why that was such an important lesson for her to learn. But that's combining school supplies with makeup. She might have gone a little bit overboard with like looking too much like Crayola. But point is, it's better to combine two unfamiliar concepts than to use another brand's intellectual property to form your own new company. I just realized that whole last segment wasn't being recorded, so hopefully the sound isn't too bad. I hope you guys were able to understand clearly what I was saying. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties all day today. But that's the end of this video. These are the 3 common mistakes that I am seeing. First one, you're not doing your research. Second, you're looking at an LLC as a form of status. And 3, you're not being creative. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Leave a comment if you have any questions, criticisms, concern, and maybe your question can be my next video, so feel free to leave it down below. If it gets too specific, I will redirect you to seek an attorney, but for the most part, if it's general, I will do my best to help you guys out. Okay, share it with an entrepreneur who needs to hear this information. Of course, I've told you before in the beginning of this video, but please share this information with your entrepreneur friends, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.